Shepard has the chance to seal up the championship here in Vegas. That leaves us with the question of whether he rolls the dice for a win over everything else or plays the numbers games and goes the safe route of cruising home. We'll find out soon as we get ready to watch round 10 of the Bootleg Racing League's Grand National Series presented by the Cruise Shop. And you'll see it all live here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is Ossian Puhaka. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Crackers Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. They call it the Bullring, and considering the short lap length, no wonder. Ossian, we've seen in the past, with no place to run, this place tears up machinery pretty quickly. Tell us a little bit more about the track.
Treacherous, short, and altogether a very challenging place to race. In 3/8 of a mile, the Bullring has 10 degrees of banking, and we'll be running here for 100 laps in the shadows of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
That should be some fun stuff around here, and they usually put on an interesting show, to say the least. But as always, we want to remind you that this race is brought to you by the Cruise Shop. The Cruise Shop has been in operation since 1986. They are a team of highly experienced travel agents that have a huge passion for travel. They specialize in cruises, all-inclusive resorts, escorted tours, Disney and family travel, groups, honeymoons, and weddings. They would love the opportunity to help you plan your next vacation. Give them a call today at 260-755-6125 or visit them at thecruiseshopfw.com. The Cruise Shop is dedicated to fulfilling their clients' dreams one destination at a time. Today's pre-race interview is with the man himself vying for that championship. It is J.R. Shepard that we're talking to. J.R., we were just mentioning you have a chance to wrap it up today. All you have to do is make sure that you outscore James by more than 6 points, which it seems like I believe it should be within a position or two that you can stay and still have the championship today. So how does that make you feel? Are you nervous at all, or you feel pretty confident?
It's 2 races to go, so I'm not real nervous about it. Really like running here at the Bullring. It's one of those very technical tracks, and it's hard to get around. And with these K&N cars, it's going to be a little slick tonight. So looking forward to it, but it's going to be tough.
Big talking point we've had running up to this week is that they put the new damage model in the latest build on this car. I can't imagine it affects things too much, but does it cause things to play out any differently? Is debris any sort of concern if wrecks happen?
I've not, this is my first time in the K&N car since the build, so I'm not sure how debris on the track's going to work out with these cars, but I do know if you get any kind of damage on that front end, it's not going to be good for you. So it's still going to be very important to keep that front end clean.
Last week we had those nasty curbs to the inside at Oxford. Now we have a little bit of, I guess you'd call them mini rumble strips or something at the bottom. Are those affecting how the cars handle in the corners at all? Do you need to stay off of them? How are those working?
Generally, you want to stay off of them, but as the car tightens up late into the run, getting into the corner, it can really help the car rotate. But if you hit them wrong and you don't get back to the throttle just right, it can really upset the car and make it loose on exit. So it's something that you got to be careful with, but it is a tool you can use during the race.
Now I know you don't always want to show your hand necessarily, but we were talking in the intro about, well, it's Vegas, and I guess from a gambling standpoint, you could either take a risk and you can try and go for the win no matter what, or if the opportunity presents itself, you could run the numbers game and just take a safe finish to clinch the championship. What kind of approach do you think you'll do?
I try to be the same every year, and I'm here to race and have fun, so try to get the most out of the car each and every week. Don't want to push so hard that I'm overly aggressive and get into anybody at all, but definitely want to run as fast as I can and get the best finish that I possibly can. So that's what I'm going to stick to for tonight.
Well, best of luck on that then, and we will keep an eye out for you, and here's hoping we'll have something to celebrate.
I appreciate it, guys. Hope you enjoyed tonight.
Was J.R. Shepard, championship leader, again has to outscore James Lowe by 6 points to seal things up. If Lowe finishes off the podium, he loses the championship if JR wins. There is the point situation right now. 34 points and only 40 for a victory in this series. Mike Holloway and Brad Speidel in a nice little fight for third and fourth as well. And Todd Liston a little ways back. He's got to start hustling, get a few more points to try and stay in the hunt for the top three in the points at the end of the season. And of course, we always have race details. Austin, in case we don't have people who have watched this series before, will you mind running down and familiarizing our newcomers on what we have in store for us?
Oh yeah, definitely. So the most important thing to remember for those who are familiar perhaps with oval racing, but not quite with this race, we got 100 laps in this race and no tire changes. So that will be very important. But before that, we have his 20-minute practice, 8 minutes still remaining, and the grid is actually quite an interesting system. See, there is no qualifying session in this race, but instead it will be the top 8 from the last race reversed starting into this race. So we already know who is going to be starting on the pole position. They already know that, and they can possibly plan their strategies a week in advance, which I think, Joe, is a very interesting feature.
Absolutely. With it being a fixed setup, unfortunately, that strategy has to be limited to how you drive it, not necessarily how you set up the car. And that'll be Brad Speidel, who finished in 8th last week, so he will be regrid on the pole in that number 5 machine. Appropriate, since right now he's actually sitting 9th in the warm-up. So we take a look at him out on track. But if James Lowe has got to outscore J.R. Shepard, the warm-up does not look like a good sign here, Austin. He's sitting down in 3rd currently.
Yeah, he is, but I wouldn't put too much weight on the warm-up. You see, some drivers may be putting in the fast lap times, and some drivers may be just familiarizing themselves with the long stint, and perhaps the way this car changes in the long run. I know we have the new damage model. You got the new tire model in this car as well. Some people may be just familiarizing themselves with the track and just trying to get used to the long run. So, you know, we might see a surprise from James yet, but I must say, JR, the only one under 15 seconds here, he is in a strong run, and it will be interesting to see if anyone can match his pace today.
At about half a tenth over Justin Morton, who sits in 2nd as well. And it's actually pretty decent conditions out there, although with it being a little bit cooler, it'll take a bit of time for these tires to warm up, I'm sure. 75 degrees Fahrenheit on the track surface. Wish we had Richie Hearn here, actually, because he does reside out in Vegas. I'm wondering if this is what we could expect from a night in May. It looks like they have the race set for, or if this is basically what he wished he had at night out there in the desert. So we take a look at Robbie Robinson now on the screen.
An interesting thing about the desert, I want to say desert all the time, and that makes me want ice cream. But, you know, interesting thing about Vegas is that it's a city that really comes to life during the night time. Nobody really hangs out during the day because of the hot desert air, because of the sheer heat, so everybody's just hanging around their hotel rooms, probably trying to, you know, take control of the night before, maybe searching for their lost friends. I think they made a movie about that, actually.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. But, you know, it's a city that comes to life at night, and that's why I feel it's really appropriate for us to race at night here as well. And hey, the lights are better than in Irvindale, too.
Yeah, this is true, definitely. And I guess as a Finn, you can kind of relate to that sort of mentality, right? Just
Eternal darkness.
Yeah. And more ways than one, too, I guess, because of the alcohol aspect. But as we watch from on board with Brian Dean, sitting in 8th, number 23 has a little bit of speed to make up here in the warm-up. As we said, can't read into it too much. Looks like he brushed the wall there as we rode on board. I've been seeing a few drivers doing like we were heard JR mentioning, Austin. It seems like a couple of them have been kind of brushing those rumble strips down at the bottom and getting away with it okay.
Yeah, and it's gonna be something a lot of drivers will be experimenting with in the race, I feel like, and experimenting with on the warm-up as well. You want to get as close to the bottom as possible, but you don't want... Actually, I was watching Sean Hayne, car number 21, and he was doing it on this lap, and it didn't seem to hurt him too much. So, you know, if you are a little bit too aggressive on the turn in, maybe you can pull that off, but it's not the optimal strategy, I feel. And I feel like in the long run, having to save up tires and so on, I don't think turning in that harsh will be the optimal strategy.
Got decent sized field here, especially compared to last week at Oxford as well, with 21 cars out here, and it looks like they should all take to the track because I'm not seeing anybody missing currently from the session. 21 around a less than half-mile track could get a little bit crowded, so hopefully the drivers will take care, especially with that new damage model, that we won't see too many flying parts as things go on. Just got about 3 minutes left here in the warm-up. And once again, if you are joining us for the first time, we want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, the Cruise Shop. Check them out at thecruiseshopfw.com if you want to check out what they can do for your vacation plans. And of course, if you don't like the internet, if you want to just call them on the phone, you can find them at 260-755-6125. They've been with this series for a number of seasons, so we're extremely grateful for the Cruise Shop support that they've been offering to the Bootleg Racing League for a while now. So we have Bruce Pearson on the screen. Didn't have the greatest of races last week. Hopefully he can make up for that a little bit.
And not having the greatest of warm-ups either. As we said, shouldn't read too much into those times. Sitting here in key number 16 at the moment, 15.2. But I must remind you, dear viewers, it is very tied up in the field. In fact, the whole field is bunched up within 0.3 of a second. And the gap from P number 5 and Ruben Aldis and Bruce Pearson is just 1/10 of a second. So that's over 10 positions within 1/10 of a second. And that is very interesting indeed.
Should keep things tight at the least. We've had a few races here where there were a lot of cautions. Granted, that was in the Modified, which used to be their premier car. And of course, there were some complaints in that car about the visibility out the front left because the A-pillar blocked the way for where you exactly wanted to look, and the other cars could not be seen quite literally through that. Hopefully that's not an issue with these Grand National machines. We're watching some more of Robinson there for a moment. Another interesting thing, another odd thing about this track too, is that they've got that curved backstretch. It's almost like a reverse D oval here. I always thought that was a bit of an odd choice, but I like the unique aspect to it.
It's a reverse Richmond, isn't it? It's like a Richmond Live.
And except tinier. Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah,
so,
it's I have very good memories from Richmond. I won my first oval race there back in 2008, but that's when I used to be fast, I was young, charming, and handsome. Now I'm just handy.
Well, you'll have to tell me what it's like to actually win an oval race, because I don't have an official oval win here on iRacing yet, so we'll talk about that later. Maybe you can give me some tips.
Oh, that wasn't on iRacing. That was on NASCAR Racing 2003 season.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, definitely. As we have 30 seconds to the race start, are you feeling excited yet?
I am. I'm looking forward to this. Like I said, I love watching races here. And knowing that James Lowe has to do well over J.R. Shepherd and he has to perform tonight, I think we're going to see the bit between his teeth and maybe a little bit more aggressive for that number 99. He seems to be happy with his practice because he's now taken it down into the pits and parked it, probably just relaxing and getting himself ready to go here, because just in a few seconds' time, we are going to be gridding up. Then it's 100 laps with no tire changes that they've got to run around here. Who's going to be able to make it to end? Who's going to be missing some body parts? Someone in the warm-up is, as they throw it into the wall here as the checkered flag comes out. Let's hope that gets it out of his system. Let's take a look at that starting grid with Brad Speidel on the pole, as I mentioned. Matt Shinosky is going to be starting next to him in second. Row 2 has Donnie Moore to the inside. Hasn't been his season since we've switched over to the Grand National. It's a good chance for him to get back in it. Todd Liston starts from 4th today with Tim Shinosky in 5th place. James Lowe starts P6, and J.R. Shepherd, the one he's trying to beat, again, has to keep from being outscored by 6 points, will start just ahead of Shepherd, who is in 7th. John Hine starts in 8th with Joe Segala in P9, and Ruben Altis rounds out your top 10.
And in row number 6, P number 11, it is Bruce Pearson. and alongside him will be Chris Wolfson. Will he be the son of Wall Street? We'll see today. P number 13 is Lolo Chul, and alongside him will be Justin Morton starting 14, Jason Menda 15, Brian Den 16. Then it's Robbie Robinson, Austin Bell, and Mike Holloway in 19th place, Mike Allen 20th, and Kurt Smith will be rounding out your field in position number 21 as they head off, Joe, into the first of the warm-up laps.
Yep, only 2 warm-up laps, then the pace car will release them. Speidel will have control. We saw Matt Shinosky make a great effort from the back of the field last week at Oxford. Now he's up at the front. Could he save his stuff, keep the cars behind him, and manage to have good pace at the end? That'll be a big question. Of course, Speidel has been fast at times. He's shown flashes of brilliance in this series, but seems to have dropped off lately. Is he going to get redemption today? They come around now on this second pace lap with the pit entrance on the backstretch. The pace car is already released, Brad. Watch him down to the inside through 3 and 4. He's waiting patiently, keeping them checked up. Green flag is out, and it's not the greatest of starts. In fact, it looks like he spins the tires. A lot of tires spinning. In fact, we got a big accident in the back. Already a caution.
Brian Den involved, Chris Wolfson, Austin Ball, Jason Menda involved, Joe Segala, Brad Spittle, a lot of drivers in there, but it looks to me like the championship contenders made it out unscathed. I'm still yet to confirm that. No, James Lowe has damage actually. He has damage on his rear end.
He did get turned around. He got ran into by, I'm not sure who it was, but he was bumped, and then he actually had a hard hit into the side with, I think, Joe Segala. Our pole sitter got completely turned around in a totally separate incident. Speidel found himself facing the wrong way before he even got to the first corner. He got hit by, it looks like, Donnie Moore, actually.
And it was J.R. Shepard, on the other hand, who did made it out without a scratch. He was just in the right place at the right time on the inside, splitting the seas and made it out. So that's well, a pretty tight grip as we're watching the replay on the championship for JR.
Wow, some people just have all the luck. Sneaks
I know, right?
Through it. So now the championship looking all the more likely for him. Lowe wound up in 8th. He's not out of it yet. He could still make up that ground, but now a damaged car. How is it performing? And will he have to sacrifice track position to come in and get that spare car? So we're waiting for them to go double file. Looks like they actually have to wave a bunch of cars around the pace car as well, as our leader Matt Shinosky has a whole string of Grand National machines in front of him.
Yeah, and Chris Olson is sadly in the car number 7. He is in the pit lane right now in that Monster Juice car, so he is most likely getting those repairs done. But I'm not seeing anyone else taking the option to the pit lane yet, so I guess they must be figuring out that the damage is not that bad.
Yeah, just holding on to it, seeing if they need it more a little bit later down the line, because there's a lot of laps to go here. I believe they're going to get the wave by this time by, and we'll get double file. Shinosky will have the inside on that restart. I talked about those cool tires, Ossian, and I guess it was a little bit more tricky than we anticipated.
Yeah, and you never really know what it's going to be like when you get to that restart or when you get to that start before you actually get to it. And I think a lot of people were really anxious to get going, and you know, it just got in a bad way really early on, but that really happens more easily than you think. It's really easy to make such a mistake even for experienced and very good drivers such as these are. And well, the bright side is, you know, each gray cloud has a silver lining. The silver lining is that we saw the new damage model in action.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. And at least we didn't have to wait long to see what it looks like. Now, they have waved off the restart because they're waiting for everybody to come back through and get lined up. There were so many that had to be waved by the pace car. They weren't happy with things. But you can see they are now doubling up. Shinosky to the inside of Donnie Moore. Can the New Englander finally get himself a victory? It's been a long time. The 26 now has a great opportunity starting on the outside of the front row. However, behind him, Tim Shanofsky, Todd Liston, two relatively fast drivers, and then you get to the driver who's possibly the most winningest in this championship, J.R. Shepard, sitting on the inside of row 3. He could be a threat. Pace car is in. Matt Shanofsky rather, has control. Tim, his brother, behind him, waiting for the green flag to run. There it goes. Oh, good start for him. And once again,
pile
a
up
big
again.
checkup.
And Chris Wolfson, James Lowe involved, and James Lowe again getting involved in that pileup. And there's a lot of smoke coming from one of the cars too. And that's Todd Liston in car number 87. He is really tore up, so is Austin Belk. And Matt Shanofsky coming up to the scene of the crime, and wow, it was a big one again.
Yeah, I think this happened when Donnie Moore didn't get going that quickly, and I think Liston got into the back of him. Lowe definitely got crunched on both sides in that. What did J.R. Shepard make another escape on this one? Let's see.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he was just in front of everything. There is from onboard Liston. You could see that hood, unfortunately, buckling up.
And that happens really easily now in these restarts. You see, I think it was Bruce Pearson just, not throwing blame on anyone, but they were just being a little bit more too anxious, getting a little bit eager to get the car going, see a little bit of pump up. You see actually Todd Liston trying to get away already, but the front row is not going. He has to lock up the brakes, and Bruce Pearson runs up to the back of him. He has nowhere to really go, and after that it's just a melee.
And we were on board with Wolfson. It happened fast in front of him. Everybody accelerated, and the next thing he knows, there's actually cars pointing up towards the sky. James Lowe is coming down in. I believe he's going to take his spare car, but he's going to go a lap down. They do have a lucky dog in this series, so he will have an opportunity to get back on the lead lap. This is just making a bad night go absolutely worse. This has got him ever more under the gun on trying to keep his championship hopes alive.
Indeed, but now he's used up all his bad luck in this race, I feel like. And JR has really used all his horseshoes and four-leaf clovers. So we'll have to see if it turns around yet. James has to wait for the field to go by, the agonizing wait, I'm sure. And he has to right now, while he's sitting on the end of the pit lane, just do a mental reset. Try to get back into the focus. Try to get back into the sense of this race, the feel of this race, and, well, the good thing about being right in the back is that you can see when the accident is about to unfold. You can do a lot more about it. When you're in the middle of the field, worst case scenario, he's felt it 2 times, he had nowhere to go. So right now he's just, okay, let's make a mental reset, try to make the best race we can and see what happens.
The good news for him is that he is the lead car on a lap down. So he will get the lucky dog, at least most likely. Donnie Moore is 3 laps down, but he's still sitting in pit lane for some reason. Didn't think he got hit that much, but probably had a little bit more damage than we realized, and also wasn't happy with how both of his restarts went. So maybe he's just parking it for a night, not really enjoying the way that the car is handling. Can see some of that damage model with some parts actually almost hanging off of some of the cars. Looking very realistic for short track racing. Let's see if we can get some green flag racing though, because once again we've got Matt and Tim up at the front, but this time on the same row. Matt to the inside, waiting for the green flag. Can anybody get to that first corner this time? It's looking a little bit better as everybody accelerates away. Matt with the inside, going to take that lead easily. Tim Shanofsky already under threat from the multi-time champion of J.R. Shepard down to his inside as they get into 3 and 4. J.R. moving into 3rd place. Tim slots into 3rd. And then Mike Allen, as we go mostly single file, gets into 4th.
Yeah, good in restart this time. We see some good battling in the back. There is Joe Segala and Sean Hine. Battling it out, Bruce Pearson joining them, Brian Den, as well as James Lowe, who is fighting for the championship. Remember, he's making a move down to the inside of the 87th mark.
Don't forget our pole sitters back there as well. He's in 13th, make that 14th as we watch the number 9 as well. This is Morton giving a little bit of a headache to Mike Holloway, but then falls backward and has to go on the defense because Lowell Jewell is looking to his inside. Can't quite get it done yet. Lowell Jewell might have this spot if he can hold on.
Yeah, it's a very good battle, and we see some battling in front of them as well, actually. Robbie Robinson, Jason Menda, and there's a good pack, Mike Holloway as well. Menda got a little bit hung up to that outside line, and that means that the whole pack is gonna pass him, and he's gonna come up right in front of Lowell Jewel, actually. Justin Morton right behind them, buckling up, but look at those cars, it's just awesome racing so far.
Lowell gets himself into 9th with that move. Make it 8th here soon because Menda still can't keep the car down to the low side and lets yet more drivers through. 2 positions lost because Morton sneaks inside with that number 9 machine.
Yeah, I wonder if it's park tires and he doesn't want to battle it too much.
We have a pass for the lead. Pass for the lead. The 98 just got to the inside of the double lot, and Matt Shanowski hands it over. In fact, it looks like Tim Shanowski is going to take second away from him as well. So with very short time, J.R. Shepard gets up to the front and we'll show you how it happened.
Yeah, you can see it here coming up right behind him, and nothing too complicated there really, you know, he just got up to the inside and made a really nice move.
He's got the nose in, and Matt let him go. Now, I mentioned earlier, though, Ossian, that last week we saw Matt just kind of hang out a little bit farther down the order, and then suddenly he came alive at the very end. He was unlapping himself at Oxford, so this makes me kind of scratch my head a little bit and think there might be something more going on here.
Yeah, definitely, because he let him go as well. He let him go as well, and oh, there's some traffic that JR has to avoid. He let him go immediately as well, and Tim is now hounding JR Shepard, while Matt Shanowski is hanging back a little bit. He's staying back couple of tenths in that familiar popcorn position. He can now take care of his tires really well.
For some reason, Speidel and Segala have both come into pit lane. I'm not sure if they must have gotten some sort of incident because there's more damage on them. Unless...
Yeah, I'm trying to get a look of what happened to those guys, you know, trying to see if it happened earlier on, but I'm not seeing anything in the last couple of laps. But Brad Speidel, at least, he was going down the order a lot during this thing.
Meanwhile, Menda still struggling out here. He's not having a good day. He just got passed by Pearson. Looks like he's going to lose another one to Brian Dean. The 23 gets by. Now Todd Liston also going to shuffle up into 14th. So now Menda down to P15, and the car behind him is a lap down. That's James Lowe, who sadly lost his lucky dog because Austin Belkey in the number 24 is now the first car lap down.
Indeed, and they might start, you know, let's see. Well, no, he's nowhere near him just yet, but not, he definitely wants to fight for that position, as P number 10 is under attack too. Joe Segala avoiding them, as Ruben Aldis and Sean Hine were battling it out earlier on, and Sean, well, he is looking for a chance, but he's not finding anything just yet.
Still hounding Ruben Altis as much as he can. That number 11 has dropped off of Lowell Jewell. Does not seem to have pace in the car. And holding up a train, not just Hine back there, but Pearson's in there. Brian Dean also starting to clog up.
Indeed, and the battle just keeps going all around the track. You see that battle for P number 10. Oh!
And he tags around. Altis. Altis finds himself backing into the wall in 3 and 4. Light contact, so he should be able to get the car going, but he is going to go a lap down as he waits patiently for an opening. This looked like an ambitious move from John Hine.
Yeah. I think he was expecting the door to be open there, you know. You can see him looking into the door at the last second, not expecting Altis to really turn in there. Altis was closing the door, taking an aggressive line in the corner. But, you know, I don't think he was expecting Hine to actually commit to it, and, you know, 2 cars were sharing the same space at the same time, and that's going to lead to a crash.
Yep, so this means Austin Belkey will get his lucky dog, I'm pretty sure, so the 24 should go back on the lead lap, much to the dismay of the 99. So he'll have to wait for at least another caution before he can even think about trying to run down J.R. Shepard at this point. And speaking of the 24, this is what I was talking about before. Look at that.
Wow.
I really love this new damage model. There's a great angle on it.
It's flapping in the wind.
It is. It really is. iRacing did a excuse the pun, they did a bang-up job on this. And
That was terrible.
yeah, looks like they're going to get out the roll of gaffer's tape and see what they can do to it.
It reminds me of childhood when we were putting pieces of cardboard between the spikes on the bicycles and later the mopeds as well, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
to make it make more noise. That looks like a piece of cardboard hanging out, but you just see the speed and the weight of those cars in general when you see that that's a piece of sheet metal hanging out.
See, now that's an interesting cultural difference because over here it was baseball cards is what they would stick between the spokes. It was cardboard over there.
Yeah, it was cardboard because it's easier to access. You know, you see it's just a piece of brown cardboard. Sometimes it would be a little bit too thick, and sometimes somebody will stick a stick in between your wheels. But that's a different story.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not so nice.
We aren't even halfway through, but we have had quite a few cautions. We did get a good green flag run there. But now J.R. Shepard will have the inside on the restart. Tim Shinosky will be to his outside. And Matt, who seemingly fell back to third almost voluntarily in that double aught, will be restarting on the inside. And maybe that's why he let Tim through as well, just making sure that he had that desired line in as they now go double file.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe I'm still thinking. Now, I know I'm a new commentator to the series, but if I was Matt, I would be considering, you know, let him hound the leader and let him hang back and save the tires, you know.
Let's see if Tim has the pace to hound J.R. Shepard as they get ready for the green. Green flag is out. It's a decent start here from Tim. He's actually going to get down into second place pretty easily, side by side for third between Matt and Mike Allen. Matt's going to get that third place now as he swings up to the high side. Allen under threat with Robbie Robinson down below. There's the number 6 car way up high. I'm not sure who that was, close to the wall, but almost out in the marbles.
Kurt Smith was very close to the outside and very close to the wall as well, losing a couple of positions now behind Todd Liston. And Todd Liston's car is throwing sparks in this race. That's very exciting.
Poor Mike Allen still just falling backwards in a hurry. Not only did he lose out to Robinson, but it looks like the number 9 and Lowell Jewell getting through as he tries to go low and he gets tipped around.
Wow.
He wanted down low, but it looks like he didn't quite get the clear that he needed.
No, Mike Allen wanted low immediately. You see Lowell Jewell passing him, and then John Hine. Once again, John Hine involved in the contact, but this was, you know, just a couple of cars coming together and John Hine trying to take the high line, but he wasn't quite clear yet, and well, he just ends up turning that beautiful, beautiful number 59 car around. I really like that car, and not just because it has the GSRC logo on it.
Well, the orange and white machine did manage to keep going, just a simple spin, thankfully. So no real hard contact here. Lightest of touches. Sees the pack coming at him. That was probably more of a scare than anything, hoping that nobody runs into him nose to nose. So where does that send the 23? Excuse me, no, that's a 59, rather. He is in 14th now, it looks like. And I do believe, yes, James Lowe back on the lead lap now in the number 99.
Yep, he'll be still in the 16th position, but he will be back on the lead lap, and this is the start of his charge, perhaps. You know, we still have over halfway to go, and you see what happened in the first half of the race. The last half, anything can happen. Sure, it looks dire straits for him, with J.R. Shepard in the lead and Tim and Matt trying to hound him down, but I, for one, will be focusing at least one eye, if not my both eyes, on the charge of James Lowe. Because if that car number is anything to go by, Wayne Gretzky, number 99, greatest of all time, James has big shoes to fill, but I think he can do really well here tonight.
Looks like Liston has come in and taken a spare car. Guess he wasn't happy about the sparking. So that's going to send him down to 16th. James Lowe gets one more position. That's one down. 14 more to go. And about what looks like 52, 53 laps that he'll have to do it.
Yeah, and the thing is, we saw the pace difference between the leading 6, the leading 7, and those other guys. We lost a couple of guys from that group, but you saw that gap between 9th and 10th on that earlier stint. I think it will be very, very important for James Lowe to get into that and into that top 10 as soon as he can, so he can get within that lead group to avoid those really, really bloody battles that we're seeing going on in front of him, because he's right behind those positions where we've seen those cars turned around, we've seen constant battling, and as much as he must love battling, he must also make progress quickly.
All right, let's see who can make progress. Robbie Robinson might be one to watch. He started 17th. He's restarting 4th. Green flag is out. Great jump there by the 98 J.R. Shepard, getting in front of Tim Shinosky. Once again, battling side by side for 3rd. Matt Shinosky, this time holding off a different orange and white machine. Robbie Robinson in the 56 to his outside, not giving up easily, but he starts to fall back on that longer line, and Justin Morton manages to get himself into 4th.
Indeed. Meanwhile, further back you see Todd Liston, you see Brad Speidel. Oh, and we
Spinning
see,
car.
yeah, we see
Mike
a lot
Holloway.
of cars. We see a lot of cars battling it out.
Holloway, no caution for him. He just spun to the inside, out of the racing line as he almost loses it again. Wow, looked like he got a little bit more purple stuff, and not quite Sunny D as he gets it going down off the racing line, but obviously struggling for grip.
Yeah, it says Sunny D, but it's more like initial D for him, as you have news up front.
As it looks like the 07 of Tim Shinosky is indeed holding on to Shepard now that we're getting some green flag laps. Good call there, Ossian, as Tim is trying to put some pressure on him.
Yep, it looked like Matt was happy to let him by, and he was also happy to let Justin Morton and Robbie Robinson pass by as well. So, we see that group hounding down J.R. Shepard, and I'm sure Tim is perhaps playing the role of a rabbit. Well, reverse rabbit. He's playing the chaser, trying to hang on to JR as much as he can, and we'll see if he can make any progress down there. But he has the toughest guy in the field to try and catch up, so it's gonna be a very, very tough call for him.
Yeah, I guess he's the Greyhound if you want to go with that rabbit
Oh,
name.
yeah.
And 4th place between Robbie Robinson and Matt Shinosky, still staying close, so he's holding on.
Oh, Allen and Low. Mike Allen got turned around, and that's a yellow flag out. The car number 59 got turned around by James Lowe, number 99, trying to go into a small gap, and I think the replay is coming up soon enough. So James Lowe trying to make up those positions, but perhaps a little bit too eager.
He did at least have his nose in down in there.
Yeah.
And that was Todd Liston that you saw going by there. They actually were banging doors there, Mike Allen and Todd Liston, so there was some hard fighting already. Mike maybe just had enough of it, was trying to shut the door, but the door would not close, and he paid for it.
Yep. And that's the price you pay. You get turned around, and well, that was James Lowe who was following behind them, turning Mike Allen around. I think he was maybe trying to capitalize on that fight, trying to capitalize on the fact that Mike was focused on the fighting, maybe focused ahead, and trying to catch him a little bit his pants down, but I think Mike closed the door a little bit too much for his own comfort and got turned around, and yeah, that's one of those things that happens really easily when two cars try to go for the same line, and there's room for only one car. And I think we're gonna see a lot more of those over the course of this race. It has that feeling, Joe, of heated passion. And really when, especially in the case of James Lowe, a championship on the line, he's gonna have to really try everything.
As it stands right now, J.R. Shepard would take the championship if they finish where they are. Lowe is in 13th with the spin that he caused. He gains one more spot. You may have seen on screen, it was Ruben Altice who got the lucky dog, and he is back on the lead lap. The hard charger of Robbie Robinson has been joined by another one, Justin Morton, from 14th to 3rd now. It'll be starting on the inside of row 2. Has a good opportunity to maybe pull one over on Tim Shinosky. Get up into 2nd place now. We'll have to wait and see. And I think, are the lights still on the pace car? Yes, they are. Wow.
Yeah, they are. So they'll be doing an extra caution lap, I think. And look at them warming up their tires, trying to get some heat into the tire. That's a new feature. Really, you didn't see too much of that earlier, but now with the new tire model, obviously the 7th iteration of the tire model, new tire model rather, you see Shepard, you see Shinosky, you see Morton trying to get some heat into those tires, and Robbie Robinson watching like, what are you fools doing?
and the temperature's been going down a little bit. It's very small. It's only 72 degrees Fahrenheit right now. So it is cooling, but I think the green flag runs that they've been getting have been keeping it somewhat consistent for the most part. It is a little bit windy on track as well. Hopefully that's not affecting the handling of the car that much. All right, let's go racing once more. Well past halfway at this point. Restarting on lap 61 with J.R. Shepard taking the green flag. He's off like a shot, and Tim is indeed under threat. Here comes Justin Morton down to the inside, trying to take that second place away. I'd say he's got it, but Matt Chinoski coming back through as well. He gets a spot immediately over Robbie Robinson and moves himself into fourth.
Yeah, and there was contact between, I think it was Jason Menda in the back, and driving at the back of him was Todd Liston, so there was minor contact, but nobody spun around, no harm done, just good hard racing and take it going.
And Lowe really is charging hard. The 99's up to 11th. That's 2 positions already that he's fought through.
Yep, number 6 goes wide. Once again, we see Kurt Smith going wide, and once again, we see him paying the price for it as by goes the 99 James Lowe, and he is now within the top 10. Now he has to just get in the back of Bruce Pearson, John Hine, Brian Den, and get past them as quick as possible. But he's definitely trying his best out there.
He's got a line of cars in front of him, so he could try and snatch up a few pretty quickly here. Boy, Kurt Smith having a bad day of things as he's still stuck on the outside and just getting freight trained. Liston goes through. Now Austin Belke is going to take this 14th position. Oh, I think he brushed the wall, that number 6.
He definitely did brush the wall, and a little bit of a contact, but we saw signs of that earlier on. Already he was running pretty close to the wall, and now I think he just got a little bit too close, brushing the wall a little bit, but not too much damage.
Down with Bruce Pearson here. Nice little battle happening. Oh, and also ahead of them, looks like Brian Dean and Lowell Jewell trying to sort out what is the 6th position. Lowell stuck to the outside. Here comes John Hine trying to stick his nose in, but he's going to be shut out as he doesn't stay side by side. Lowell Jewell survives for another day.
Yeah, I was about to say, John Hine hasn't maybe had the best of luck today sticking his nose in. We've seen it happen twice now. So let's not be the third time be the charm, you know. But he is certainly trying to get his nose in. Maybe trying to get Lowell Jewell to buckle in a little bit, you know, give up that lower line. Trying to get the position that way. Maybe a bit of intimidation in play here.
Ooh, intimidation coming from Lowe as he gets down underneath Bruce Pearson and quickly disposes of him. He might have another one because Lowell Jewell does get overtaken by John Hine, who gets down to his inside. The 99 sees an opportunity. He gets a 2-for-1 potentially here. Not quite by at the line, but he is there, and I think pretty soon he'll be gone.
Oh, 3-for-1, because 21 makes a mistake, John Hine makes a mistake. You see him sliding just a little bit too much in that mid corner, trying to close the door on him, but James Lowe being surgical with his precision and gets by all 3 guys. Wow.
Just a great few moves there from the 99. And Lowell Jewell is going to manage to get that back from John Hine as well, since he's now gotten stuck to the outside. Oh, and Hine losing the car, gets into the wall, gets hit, no caution
by Mike
yet.
Allen. Yeah, no caution yet, and Mike Allen still spinning out his hard into the wall, and his right front tire is just messed up, and he has to surely make his way back to the pit lane, but no caution out.
He's staying out for a moment. Let's take a look at the replays as, yeah, that tire is dead. So we haven't quite gone to the replay yet. So apologies as we try to spool this up. This all started, well, as we've gone way too far past it now.
Yeah, and meanwhile, off the cameras, Ruben Aldis and Austin Bolt battling Kurt Smith and John Hine as well. John Hine seems to be damaged as well, but I think you got the replay up now, Joe.
Sadly, it looks like we've had to come back
and
live.
We got a caution. There's a car around, and that is
Altice.
Altice, yes. Altice, car number 11 around. He got hit by, I'm trying to see.
I think that was
Kurt
Smith.
Yeah.
Yep, definite contact between them. And then Smith has as well got contact from Holloway.
Yeah, Smith spun in front of Holloway. Holloway trying to make it by on the inside and actually gets by with minor damage, but still a little bit of contact there. So Another caution flag is out, and it has that short track racing feel. It's been hard show so far, but I think I'm in love.
Yeah, it's easy to fall in love with this series. They put on a good show. You can see a little bit of contact, I think ghost contact there with John Hine, the 21 contacting the 11 just as he was spinning around. Both of them able to continue. Been a
And
little
now,
bit of a caution fest here, but not too bad. What I noticed, though, Ossian, was that Justin Morton in that second place, every time I was glancing up at the lead, he was still holding on to the back there. He was not dropping away.
no, and he's not now warming his tires right behind Shepard, trying to keep him honest. You know, JR hasn't really been able to run free in the front. Yeah, he's been in the front throughout most of the race. He got away from those early incidents, sure thing. But he hasn't been really able to settle in the cruise because every time he looks in his mirror, there is a new challenger behind him. It was Matt Shinoski, then it's Tim Shinoski, now it's Justin Morton. Who will be the next guy? Will he at some point of this race see number 99, James Lowe, yet in his mirror saying, "Hello, I'm here"? It's not "Here's Johnny," it's "Here's James."
There you go. And here's an interesting tie-in for you as well on that number 9. You might notice the Total Downforce Racing logo on there. He teams up with a few of those Camel guys over from Camel GT
Oh,
series. Yeah. So he is in both disciplines, both good on the ovals as well as the road courses.
I see, I now remember that name. Actually, now that you mentioned it, that is a familiar name, and now I remember from where. Because I have to be honest. I got the brief. I'm here as a fill-up, just to be honest to the viewers. And I'm not familiar with most of these guys, but I've done a little bit of reading. I see who's you know, the fast guys, who are the fast guys, and what to expect from each and every one of them. But I don't see too many familiar names from before. But that's a familiar name from before as we get to the restart.
Yes, indeed. We're going to restart on lap 82. Less than 20 to go at this point. James Lowe has really got a boogie at this point. As they come off of turn 4, and the 98 is quickly up to the front. Justin Morton keeps from getting attacked by Tim Shinoski. He and his brother Matt settling out third place. Looks like Tim going to come out ahead of the two. Still a little bit of a battle between Robinson, Dean, and James Lowe. Lowe now up to 6th place potentially as he's got the inside of the 23.
Beautiful done.
Just slides right in there. Next on his list, Robinson in the 56. You can see behind them a little bit of side-by-side battling with Lowell Jewell and Bruce Pearson. Also fighting for what is 8th place. The number 6 trying to get involved.
Yeah, trying very hard to get involved and gets by the 87th of Todd Liston as well. So he is making up one position here and sliding very deep into the corner once again, still side by side between Lowell Jewell and the 45 of Jason Menda.
Liston got turned around, getting hit in the side by Smith. No caution. We might get one as he backs onto the course. No, still green, and he gets it going.
Yeah, and now we see the 56 of Robbie Robinson making a little bit of an error coming out of the corner, and that's gonna allow James Lowe to potentially challenge him.
We're watching the replay of Liston here. This happens on the front stretch. Goes for the over-under. Actually was pretty successful at it. But Smith just loses control, and as he tries to catch the car, he hits the side panel and smashes him into the inside wall.
That's unlucky. That's unlucky, and meanwhile, James Lowe not being able to make that position check yet, but he was pretty close to that 5th place already. He was trying to challenge Robbie Robinson, run the outside, couldn't quite get it done there, but, you know, challenging him already. And what he needs right now is for someone to keep J.R. Shepard in control out on the lead, because he's now making a little bit of a gap to Justin Morton. Nothing decided yet, but Justin's gonna have a steep hill to climb here.
You can see how close that James is getting to Robbie. Keeps taking little pokes to the inside, running a lower, tighter line. I gotta wonder, he's pushed hard to get through the field. Has he used up his stuff already?
And what's gonna happen with the number 00, Matt Shinoski, because Matt has been very slow as James goes for it. And gets past.
That's going to get him up into the top 5 now, but the championship would still be over. Again, with J.R. Shepard leading, he has to finish 3rd or higher, so 2nd or 3rd essentially, for the number 99. And there you see J.R. now out to 0.7 of a second over Justin Morton.
And Morton hits the wall there, exiting turn number 4, I think that was. He just got a little bit loose and got sideways, overcorrected it, and oh, he avoided the wall actually, but that was very close. I thought he hit the wall. I was sure he was hitting the wall there.
But they get awful close sometimes in this series. So we ride on board with Tim Shinoski just behind him. The 07 stayed with that number 9. We saw this with Tim before too, that he charged hard and worked on Shepard and then fell back, and Justin took his place. Now maybe Justin discovering it's hard to keep those tires under him as he starts to fall into the clutches of one of the Shinoski brothers. They still have held Matt back. If he's got to go soon, because we're down to 6 laps to go.
Yep, and James Lowe needs those guys to start battling now, preferably to take each other out so he can make it up to that 3rd place. You know, nobody ever wishes that for another driver, but that's what he's gonna need at this stage. He's absolutely hounding Matt Shinoski, but Shinoski is not giving him an inch. He's not giving him any sunlight, keeping that line very tight, very consistent, and that's a real guide to how to keep a guy behind you.
So we watch Lowe from on board the roof, looking forward to the 00. Once again, just looking down to the inside at every opportunity, but nothing showing itself quite yet through 1 and 2. Still Matt looking incredibly smooth.
Lowe hit the wall there. Lowe actually brushed the wall and back straight there. So that's gonna drop him back just a 1 car length, but I wonder if that's enough to end his charge, or are we gonna see something absolutely mad on the last 2 laps? I'm starting to think that we are within an inch of crowning a new champion here.
I think you're right, because J.R. Shepard has 2 to go. It's popsicle sticks for the number 98. He's coming down the backstretch and already getting ready to see that white flag. He comes off of turn 4, just 1 to go, and it's another championship on his belt, this time in the Grand National car for the first season that they've used it as the Premier Series here in the Bootleg Racing League. Out of 3 and 4, the 98 is going to take the victory, and with it, another championship.
Behind him, side by side, James Lowe and Shinoski, and Lowe made it through on the last corner. Unfortunately, not enough to keep the battle going, but they were door to door on that last corner.
Still gets him 4th place. I guess that is at least small consolation as everybody comes across the line. A great finish to a race that started out messy, but everybody's got their feet under them. That means we're going to head to a break here on the Global SimRacing Channel, but there's more show yet to come. Stick around for the unofficial results as well as driver interviews, and we're going to have all the upcoming races here on GSRC on your screen, including the new Dirt Series here for the Bootleg Racing League, coming soon in a few weeks. Welcome back to the Bullring here at Las Vegas. It was a championship crowning event in the end. J.R. Shepherd taking the trophy and the crown all at once with his victory from 7th place. But don't count out Justin Morton. He may have fallen back at the end and he may have finished in 2nd, but remember, he gritted up in 14th place. That number 9 deserves a pat on the back. Tim Szymanski managed to wind up in 3rd, round out the podium. James Lowe, who needed to finish on that podium, was 1 position shy in the end. He took 4th today. He certainly had his fair share of troubles, so you can say that he earned it trying to get up into that 4th spot. Matt Szymanski, who we thought was going to have something more at the end, in fact did not. He wound up in 5th, with Brian Dean coming home in 6th position. Robbie Robinson with a 7th today was then followed by Bruce Pearson in P8. John Minda was 9th, and Lowell Jewell rounded out your top 10.
And in the 11th position, it was Kurt Smith, and behind him having a tough race, John Hine finishing 12th, Austin Bölke finishing 13th, and behind him, and he is also the last car on the lead lap because behind him, Mike Holloway 1 lap down, 14th, Brad Speidel 1 lap down, your pole sitter finishing 15th here today, Ruben Altis finishing 16th, Todd Liston 17th, and then 3 laps down, Joe Segala, and your retired drivers from this race, Mike Allen, Donnie Moore, and Chris Wolfson. So 3 drivers out of this race and 13 drivers finishing on the lead lap, and it was quite a short track race, but I believe it's time to toss the mic back to Joe for some driver interviews, and whoa, we have a doozy for the first one.
Absolutely. J.R. Shepherd, by our calculations, is unofficially the champion. JR, congratulations. You managed to do it and do it in style.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Joe. That was a fun race. Again, I really like the Bullring. Love running there. It's a technical track, and it's one of those tracks where you've really got to back your corner up and then get on the throttle early. And with this K&N car, it's a little bit of a handful, but we managed it pretty good tonight.
We saw a lot of drivers at the start spin their tires, spin each other, all kinds of chaos in those first 2 attempts at it. You didn't get caught up in it. It seems like you were both a bit lucky and a bit skillful with it. What was it like on those tires early in the race? Because we got the impression that they were just a nightmare to get the throttle down.
Yeah, for sure. The first lap, maybe 2 laps, the tires are really cold and feel like a hard rock underneath you. So you really had to be easy with the throttle. Act like you had an egg under the throttle, and if you missed it just a little bit, the rear tire would take off, and then once you spun them once, you were going to spin them again. So a little bit of a handful. You had to manage your tires for sure, and that's really what I was trying to do the first 30 or 40 laps of the race.
I remember this was one of the tracks last season where the drivers talked about the 8-pillar on the modified being a big problem, being able to see the cars, and caused a lot of cautions. What was the visibility like in the Grand National machine? Was it better?
It's slightly better, but it's still an issue. It's just we've gotten used to it. At least I know that I have, and some of the other guys that I've talked to have. So it's not as bad as it once was, but when you're on these short tracks with a tight radius corner, it's something that's going to come into play each and every week.
Well, that is another championship, another trophy for the cabinet. Again, big congratulations. Anybody you want to thank before you take off here?
Yeah, definitely. Lowell Joel puts on the Bootleg Racing League where we can come out and race each and every weekend, and just a big thanks to him and to the Cruise Shop for being a great title sponsor the last couple of seasons, sticking on board with us. So it's great to have them here and to be able to have broadcast with a group of guys like you at GSRC. So we really appreciate what you do, and look forward to doing some more racing in the future.
We look forward as well. Don't get in too much trouble in virtual Sin City celebrating. That was our new champion and winner, J.R. Shepherd. Up next, Ossian's caught up with Justin Morton with a big climb up the field.
Justin, you may be P number 15 in the championship. You may have started 14, but you were showing no fear out here today. I mean, from 14th all the way to 2nd, hounding down your new champion in the final points of the race. Tell us about your awesome performance out here today.
Oh, first off, thank you for the compliment about getting through the field. Yeah, it was kind of lucky getting through the field on those first 2 cautions. I made it through cleanly, so I didn't have to go to the back with a fast repair. But yeah, I was able to get pretty good runs off the turn, get to the inside of people, and get by them.
How were the conditions out today? It was a cold night here in the Bullring. Was it difficult to get a hang of it? Because we saw those first couple of restarts, they were quite messy. How were you able to make it through the initial conditions?
I was pretty easy on those first 2 restarts, getting in the back of the pack. Try to just be patient, but yeah, try not to do what people in the front did, spin their tires. But it happens. Yeah, just patience, really.
So how about your season as a whole? Not over quite yet, but you're sitting in a 15th place in the championship, gonna climb up a couple of positions after this race, I'm sure, but you are quite an all-around driver. I've seen you on Camel GTs, I've seen you racing on the roadside, you've done a couple of endurance events, and you also do small oval stuff. So, how is it for you jumping from car to car against all these specialists?
Yeah, I love jumping around a bunch of cars. I mean, these K&N cars, it's probably the most fun I've had oval racing in my 3 years of iRacing. And road racing was just really fun to do all the different cars and how they drive differently.
Yeah, and even though your team name is Total Downforce Racing, I'm not seeing much of downforce in these cars.
Not much.
So, Justin, who makes it happen for you? Who do you have to thank for this awesome second place out here today? And if you got any shout outs to your sponsors or friends or family or whoever, give us a shout.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Pixel Dust. Got a new paint scheme for this car. First time I got to race it today. It looks really sharp. Yeah, Pixel Dust, TDR, Riley, thank you for letting me join the team. It's been pretty fun. Thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Thank you, Crew Shop, for sponsoring our series. I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Justin, and was nice talking to you. Congratulations for the second place, and hope to see you more great performances from you soon.
Thank you.
And up next, we got Joe Peak joined in the commentary booth, or rather, in the interview position by, I believe, our third place finisher.
Yep, it was Tim Shinoski in the Kmart car who had a few battles with his brother Matt this week. It seemed like you spent a lot of time near him. Was there any knowledge being traded in the in the preparation, the practice, or the week coming up here?
Not really. There really wasn't much practice for this race, but I think we both have plenty of experience here at this track. So, I mean, nothing really unexpected.
Now, they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but I have to imagine with a second podium in a row here, do you want the podiums to not stay here? Do you want to see if you can wrap it up with a triple threat coming into the last round in South Boston?
Well, that would be nice. I haven't gotten a win yet this year. Have had a lot of bad luck, but these last 2 weeks, kind of been able to turn things around. So it'd be nice to finish off the season with a win, but it's not going to be easy. I'm looking at it right now. JR's won 8 races and James Lowe's won the other 2, so it'd be nice to be the third winner this season.
We also noticed that at least for a couple drivers, they would start, you included, they would start to close up to the back of J.R. Shepard, and then suddenly you'd start to fall back and you get overtaken by another person who would go on a charge. Did the tires start to go away on you after a bit and trying to catch up to J.R.?
Yeah, they did start to go away after a little bit. I mean, I could hold with him for 5, 10, maybe even 15 laps, but after that, he would start to pull away a little bit, and either Matt would catch up to me maybe a little bit, and then eventually Justin caught me, and he got me on a restart. And I really didn't have anything for either of those two as the race went on.
Well, here's for more good racing in the finale in a week's time. Anybody you want to thank before you go?
I just want to say congrats to JR and Justin on their good finishes, and hopefully we can have a good finish next week.
I was hoping for that as well. That's the 07 of Tim Shinoski, who finished third today. And we're going to close up with a few thank yous. A big one goes to our sponsor, as always, the Crew Shop. They are at 260-755-6125 on the phone or online at thecrewshopfw.com. Also, thanks to the Bootleg Racing League for bringing us back for another season of coverage. And also, thanks to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcast listed here on your screen. Additional thanks to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. And thanks to the team today, Aussie, Sean, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. And also check out our social media. Our Twitter is at GSR Channel, Facebook, Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram, GSRC_Graham. If you'd like to support the channel here on GSRC, check out our merchandise store. The link is in the description below, where you can also find our subscribe button just below here on YouTube. Click that, you won't miss a moment here on our channel. The next race is going to be at South Boston. That'll be Saturday, March 14th at 8:50 p.m. Eastern. But also tune in on Fridays pretty soon. We're going to have those dirt races coming up, and that'll be Friday evenings, I believe, around 7 p.m. I need to double check on that. Where we are going to get racing off the pavement for the Bootleg Racing League. We have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. But until next time, race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.